I always give it a lot of love for it here on the channel. And now, the Infuse app for the Apple ecosystem, Apple TV, iPhone, iPad, and Mac just got updated to a major point release version 7.5. It's got some really cool new features in it. Let's talk about them, demonstrate them, and see what we think about Infuse 7.5. So Infuse breaks their patch notes down in terms of new, improved, and fixed. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff here. In terms of new, we have the ability to play trailers. Yes, trailers, basically internet stream trailers for our content, automatically selected, automatically added to the metadata pages. Really cool. We also have the ability to group multiple variations or editions of a movie together into a single entity in the library. This is so useful. On disk, some movies like Justice League, Zack Snyder edition, or Lord of the Rings come in 2 parts. And before, in your Infuse library, you had to have 2 separate named entries for the movie, not always making it very clear, like which was part 1, which was part 2. Now it's all interleaved. It's awesome. We'll take a look at that in a second. And they have some very specific ways to kind of customize the presentation in the library for this. Very powerful, very cool. The improvements also talk about new Dolby Vision profiles, Dolby Vision 8, although I have to admit, I have not been successful in ripping a 4K Blu-ray with Dolby Vision, such as the Batman, as I understand it's supposed to have, to an MKV file and having the Apple TV play that Dolby Vision from that MKV file to my LG TV. Maybe you've had better luck with other TV brands, but I don't see it working. I always see just regular HDR. But in any case, we're up to Dolby Vision Profile 8 now with the Infuse app. And beyond that, there's a whole bunch of like player core improvements, faster library search times, and about a dozen or so named bug fixes, all in the release notes available on their webpage. So let's take a look at the trailers and at those movie parts. So if I go to really any movie in my library now, we can see where we used to only have a play option. Next to it, we have a trailer option. Click that. The trailer will take a few seconds to kind of buffer and play. And I've tried it on a variety of movies. I'm not going to play it specifically here because I don't want any takedowns or legal problems with this video, but suffice to say, my limited testing of it works great. Quality is okay. I think that's the case for a lot of these types of metadata systems, even including Kaleidoscape, that play online trailers. It's not Infuse or the company that's making specifically a high quality version of the trailer available. They're streaming them from some online source that they've identified. And so, you know, it's not really necessarily about the quality so much as it is about having the trailer available to play. As you're evaluating your library, maybe, you know, sitting with the family or some friends, debating what you might want to watch, or you just want to watch a quick kind of overview of a movie. Now we have it really nice. That was definitely a missing piece kind of the movie presentation page and like metadata. And now for those smart groups, as Infuse calls them, I just did a search for Justice League in my Infuse app. And of course, I am running on the latest model, Apple TV 4K, updated to the latest beta firmware, and now updated to Infuse 7.5. Where before, I used to see 2 posters, 2 entries for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now there's 1. And underneath it, we see a little bit of extra bonus text that says 2 items. So if I go to the movie and I go down, I can see very specifically now I have an option, get my pointer finger right here, part 1 and part 2. And I can go to these, flip between them, and kick off playback of whatever given version, variant, edition, or piece of a movie that I want to play. Now in my file names, I just added basically a bracket part 1, a bracket part 2, and Infuse is picking up on that, and that's what it's showing me here for the text on the screen. Also, I didn't actually put a space between part 1 and part 2 in my file names, but it does present it here with part space 1, so that's nice. If you actually go to the metadata help pages of the Infuse app that tell you how to set up your files and set up your content on your server to be recognized and played back by the app, they now have a whole list of special tags that will be automatically picked up in the names of your files. And just looking at these, we have Director's Cut, Extended Cut, Theatrical Cut, Final Cut, Special Edition, Black and White, Widescreen, Full Screen, IMAX, and then Part Space X for Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. They also say that you can use custom tags by using what they call an addition tag in your file name. So if you use curly braces and say addition dash, you can type whatever you want, and that's the text that will show up on the actual movie details page in the app for Infuse. Really sweet, very customizable, very smart. Smart groups indeed. This app is just awesome. I love it. As an Apple ecosystem user, pretty much for all of my technology devices, this is just the bee's knees for local media, ripped content in the Apple ecosystem. Now, of course, we didn't get it. We didn't get Bitstream, Dolby Atmos, Bitstream, DTS:X audio. I still contend that that's not up to Infuse to support. We need Apple to take the next steps for that, to allow app makers like Infuse to be able to leverage it. So cross your fingers, hold your horses, however you want to say it. Let's look forward, hopefully, to WWDC and maybe, just maybe, some really cool news out of Apple with regards to Apple TV and tvOS. I think that's our next chance and probably our next hope to be able to get that super lossless Dolby Atmos and DTS:X audio out of Infuse. As it is, though, just fantastic. And again, when they update stuff, it's across the entire ecosystem. So Infuse 7.5 has rolled out for iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, and Mac with all of these features, iCloud synced metadata. Use it on whichever Apple ecosystem device you may own. Just fantastic. Now, it has been a little while since I think we've seen some really tangible feature additions like this, so I love it. Very, very happy for that. And like all of these different hardware and software makers out there, I hope that they pick up, that Infuse as well continues to pick up the pace of new capabilities, improvement updates, software releases, and all of that. And I will put my little dig in here that one of the most requested features, I think, Infuse, if you're watching, if you're listening, that I and many others want to see, is get off of this old style video playback menu and presentation and get to the newer style Apple TV based player UIs and controls that other streaming apps are using. I hope we see that in 7.51 or 7.6 or whatever might be coming next. So that's Infuse 7.5. Are you updating? Do you use this? What do you like? What don't you like? What do you want to see out of Infuse and the Infuse developers? Sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. Otherwise, please do all the regular YouTube stuff. And if you'd like to support the channel, whole lot of ways to do so. Amazon links, super thanks. I now have Audio Advice affiliation. If you'd like to buy some gear, go through my referral, buy it from Audio Advice. And as always, come on back for more home theater discussion and fun.